Hey guys, Ash and Matt here. It has been a busy day and we thought it would be an appropriate day to talk about our daily routine and what it looks like in a day of Ashley and Matt and being parents and running really fit and traveling downtown, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. So we wanted to hear from you guys too and kind of what your days look like and your tips and tricks to get through. So I guess we could kind of start with today, although today was kind of an off day.
Well, routine is a funny choice of word because it's not really a routine.
It's very hard to have
routine sometimes.
It's very hard to have routine when you have a child.
The key thing about being routine is being flexible, I guess. That's the best part.
That's what you were trying to coach me through today.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so I would say a lot of, like during the week, a lot of our mornings kind of start the same. I actually often get up at 5 a.m. and I have clients that I see at 6 a.m. So I leave in the morning before Matt and Rowan get up, although Matt's starting to get up with me. I leave in the morning when Matt and Rowan are sleeping, and then I go train, and then when I come back, Matt has already showered, gotten ready, and is hanging out with Rowan.
Yeah, generally trying to do that. And so with you getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning now I'm trying to get back into the workout because for me, I'm most definitely not an evening person for the workouts. If I come home from work and I'm going to try to work out, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just, by the time I get home, I just want to like relax and...
It never happens.
Just take it easy and watch Mindhunter or something like that.
Yeah.
But morning is definitely... I'm sure a lot of guys are like me where working out at night is very difficult to do. Once you get home, you don't want to work out.
Yeah, especially after a long day. So I would say a lot of mornings we're almost like high-fiving each other as I come back in and he is leaving.
That's very true.
Leaving the house. And I don't train every morning, so the other mornings that I don't, I often get up and hang out with Rowan and get breakfast ready and do all that kind of stuff. Well, Matt gets ready and then leaves for work, and then I sometimes don't have a shower, and then I drop Rowan off at daycare because it's very hard to get things going with her there because she always wants to come in the shower with me. So then I go and drop her off at daycare. Yeah,
and that's a good trick, is getting her to take the shower with you, because you can't. Like, she runs around and she gets into everything if you let her go out there, right? Or she gets really upset.
But so then I can't shave.
No, you can't shave, yeah.
So like, she's had a shower with me almost every day this past week. And then finally tonight, Matt put Rowan to bed. I'm like, I need to shave. Like, I'm disgusting.
Yeah, you weren't that disgusting.
My leg hair was super long. But anyways, that's how our morning routine goes a lot, because we're trying to manage each other, and we're trying to manage Rowan and get off on a good day. And so often, Rowan ends up having a shower with me, or I don't have one if I don't want her to have a shower with me, because I don't want her to get wet and have to get all dressed. Funny thing is with kids, once you get their routine down, they change it up on you to keep things interesting. I'm no expert, but at 9.5 years and counting. Well, that's basically what Matt was saying to me today. So I kind of had a meltdown today because daycare was canceled. I took Rowan to my parents' place. I only get to work when Rowan's in daycare part-time and then sleeping in the afternoon. And today I had neither. She had no nap. She didn't go to daycare. I had a lot of shit to do. Had to go and visit with my parents. Had a little bit of upsetting stuff there. And Matt called me and I was crying. And I was like, I'm losing my shit. Like, I can't do this. And I have those days, and Matt basically talked me off the edge before I like punched a wall, and was like, you have to be flexible. Like, every day is not going to go as planned. Every day is not going to go as it normally does, and you have to be flexible. And I find that although I like to be flexible, I'm actually worse without routine. Like, I like routine, and when a routine is off, especially Rowan's routine, I get really flustered.
Anxiety. You get a lot of anxiety when Rowan doesn't
nap.
Hit her milestones throughout the day.
Yeah,
because it throws off your day, and I totally get it.
Because my day is so centered around her, and then I have like a million emails piling up if she doesn't nap, and I do. I find that ever since, I wasn't always like this, but ever since Rowan has been born, I find that I've almost conditioned myself where she doesn't go down for a nap, which was today. On top of the fact that she didn't go to daycare, I'm like, I have so much shit to do. Yeah. And I lose my mind.
Yeah.
So, but that's not a typical day. Not a typical day. So normally I would drop her off at daycare, and then I work for a couple hours, and I either go and meet Kaylee, or I do online videos, or I see clients, or I just answer emails, answer your stuff on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And then I go and pick up Rowan, and then I bring her back here. We have lunch, she goes to nap, I hop back on the computer, I do work, or I go downstairs and do a video workout if I didn't get to do it.
And you hope that she takes a long nap.
And then I hope that she takes a long...
2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. That would be, not typical, but that would be nice. And then we get up and we play. And then I really enjoy my time with Rowan. I'm not trying to say that. I love my time with her.
Of course not.
I just am trying to juggle both right now, and it can be very stressful on top of it. So... And then Matt usually gets home around, you can talk about your day after, and then Matt usually gets home around 6:45.
Yep.
And then I've already basically prepped Rowan for bed, and then Matt comes up and we spend some time together upstairs. We read books, we run around. She gets that burst of energy before bed that a lot of kids I know do.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then... we get some laughs out of her, and then she heads to bed, and then we eat, and then we prep for Facebook Live.
Yep.
No, not every night. I'm just joking.
Live.
No, we usually just try to hang out and talk and just spend time just engaging each other.
So no, it's true. So and that's important that we do that, because my work day is a little bit different in that I work typically 9 to 5. So I try to get up when you get up. I try to get my workout in to keep myself motivated. I'm kind of trying to get back into that there. I slip a lot. But anyway, for me in the morning, I've been trying to do on and off intermittent fasting. So I'll try to get up and not have anything to eat until about 11 o'clock. And usually by about 10:30, I'm trying to eat my shoe or whatever I can find at my desk. It's pretty
not
intense.
Supposed to be that difficult.
No, I'm sure it's just a transition period. But we'll have a bulletproof coffee in the morning. I'll usually come down in the morning and I'll make us a coffee or a tea or something and bring Rowan up a little drink, because when she wakes up, she's usually thirsty. And then we'll hang out for a little bit. And I guess the challenge with being in a 9 to 5 is that I don't get to hang out with her a lot during the day. So, in the mornings it's important, and in the evenings it's especially important that I try to get home on time so we can spend some time together.
Yeah.
And so that's tough as a dad. It's definitely, I try to soak up as much as I can in the morning.
Yeah.
Try to hammer it all together, and then I gotta run over and grab the train, and I'm usually semi-speed walking to get to the train. So I'm usually, in the summertime, I'm working a sweat already by the time I get on the train. So I've actually appreciated this cold weather the past while, because I'm not as sweaty.
I get messages, I'm sweating, and I'm on the train. I'm not even at work yet, and I'm sweating.
It's the worst, because you get on the train in Whitby, and it's only come from Oshawa, so they have the AC's not even turned on yet. And it's it's so hot. It's so hot on the train, and I'll be standing on the platform, and I'm sweating. Nobody else is sweating. I don't know how. Anyway, but yeah, that's what it's like in the morning. And then I get to the office. I walk to the office, which is nice, and then I do my thing at the office. I try to go for walks during the day. I got to break up my day, so I work in a kind of a sales sort of account services role. So I'm working with clients and teams a lot. So I'm at my desk a lot, on a lot of phone calls, things like that. So you got to get up and you got to move around. So I try to schedule little breaks for myself in my calendar and just remind myself to go out for a walk. The Fitbit helps a lot. So the Fitbit heckles me and tells me that I need to go for a walk. So I'll do that kind of stuff. That helps me a lot to keep moving. And then just making breaks throughout the day, because if you don't, you'll just get hammered, and then you sit and you eat lunch at your desk. And I try not to eat my lunch at my desk. That's another thing that just, if you eat lunch at your desk, you're doomed to just keep doing work.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't do that. And then I'm home. Usually I try to get home a little early if I can. If I can hop on an early train, I'll try to do that. If not, I'm home by about 6:30, 6:45. And then we just do our thing, and Ron goes to sleep.
We often go to bed pretty early.
Sometimes we go to bed at about 9. Yeah. So we only got a couple of hours where we're just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important that we talk and catch up on the day, and we try not to jump right into TV. we try to catch up on things, and or we'll have a bath. And
Like
that's where we do
having
a lot of
baths.
our talking and planning is during bath time.
Adults bath time.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's funny because, discussing this and like what our opposite days with, and I'm sure a lot of moms and if dads are watching can relate to this, is for somebody kind of like me that's somewhat of a stay-at-home mom. I sometimes get jealous of Matt and his day, and I get jealous of the fact that he gets like time on the GO train alone, and he gets time on the GO train back alone, and he gets a lunch hour, and like I get jealous, and it doesn't mean I don't want to be doing what I'm doing, but I find that sometimes like when you're home a lot and you're like so stuck on routine because of your child, it can be really challenging sometimes. And then Matt, on the other hand, gets jealous because I'm with Rowan so much, and I'm the one sending him pictures, and obviously I have the better deal. But it's just funny how like sometimes you can get jealous, like he'll send me articles through the day, or he'll call me when he's out on a walk, and I'm like, I wish I had time to do that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's you're both trading something off.
Yeah, sometimes and the walk, usually when I'm walking is because I need to get some air, because it's been a busy day or something like that. So I would trade that for hanging out with Rowan on pretty much anything.
Oh my God, yeah. So I just know, and anybody that's on here that's a stay-at-home mom or is at home a lot with their kids and their husbands have like long hours or whatever, I'm sure you can relate. Give me a tap.
For sure.
I know what you mean, Ash. Sarah no longer is in daycare, so it's been a huge adjustment for me because I'm big on routine. It's been a few weeks, and I can't read the rest.
Yeah, what's with Facebook?
I have no idea. We have to figure that out. It pisses me off. Yeah, Facebook, if you hear that, fix it. But yeah, so it's just funny how that. So how do we get through this as any other parent? What are our tips and tricks? I know you kind of touched on a couple with getting up and moving around.
Getting up and like setting your alarm and just getting moving in the morning is very important. I was doing the cold showers for a long time, and that got me up and running, but that's not going to happen in the winter. There's no way. I'm not going to be doing those in the winter time. Not when if for some reason if it's dark outside, pitch black when you get up, I don't want to have a cold shower.
Yeah, okay.
But whatever. I'll make it cold at the end.
Yes.
That'll be my sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then but once you get moving, you get up, you have a coffee, and then you can kind of start your day. I always hate waking up like late and feeling rushed. I know you hate feeling rushed.
Yes.
So for us, we have to get up and leave ourselves plenty of time to get moving in the morning.
Yeah.
And get things done, and because I know quite often we get into a rush right at the final stretch.
Yeah, like I see my clients at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they only live like 7 minutes away, and I go to see them in the morning, and I actually still get up at 5 because I need time to like before the day starts, or else it's just like this. So I find that kind of starting your day off like that is very important if you're able.
I think you should try the meditation thing in the morning, maybe on your own then.
Perhaps, but I schedule my day at that point. And that's kind of like meditative for me. Like I schedule their workout and like anybody else's workout if I'm going to see them, and then what I'm going to get accomplished that day.
That's not really meditation.
It feels good.
It feels good, sure.
Meditative for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something I can consider. And then I would say one of my tips to get through the day is music. So although I like routine when it comes to like when Rowan sleeps, when like we do certain things, like I do like a certain amount of routine, I don't like mundane. So, which is kind of funny because I'm saying I like routine, but I like to like get up and dance around, or I want to go see a new park, or I want to go visit something different like when she's up. Like I find that keeps me excited and not bored, and it keeps Rowan excited and stimulated, and I think that's really important. And yeah, like listening to music, dancing, exercising, as you guys would probably assume. Drinking lots of water keeps me energized all day. And one thing you touched on that we both used to do and we're not anymore is like we used to be big caffeine addicts.
Yes.
And we're not anymore. I do love my tea, and sometimes we have bulletproof coffee. But in general, we don't really have much caffeine anymore, and we actually find that it keeps our energy more stable throughout the day. And that when we have caffeinated beverages all the time, our energy's like this, and it's really hard to get through the day. And then when you get home, you don't crash. Like when you have caffeine all day and you haven't eaten properly, then you crash when you get home. Like you fall asleep on the couch pretty early. So
a lot of people that I work with, they are heavy into the caffeine, so they find that that's the only way that they can work, or function, is that they have to have a coffee to start their day. They must have it. And for me, it's like I enjoy the taste of coffee. And so when I get decaf, like I get decaf espressos from the coffee shop that's right by my office, and it's fantastic. I haven't had a true caffeinated coffee other than the one or two that we sometimes have when we do a bulletproof. I haven't had caffeinated coffee in quite a long time.
Yeah.
So my energy levels didn't change at all. Like I have lots of energy.
You have more energy.
So yeah, people find that coffee gives them energy. It's not really. It's kind of only for a very short period of time, and
it's false energy.
Then you become addicted to it, and you're not energetic because you're not having it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, I used to drink an insane amount of coffee, and I used to drink sometimes 3 or 4 cups a day. And when I think of like my adrenals at that point, like just the highs and the lows and the highs and the lows and the sugar cravings, and and now, I mean, I love my tea, and I'm definitely addicted to it in the sense where it's very routine for me. Here it comes back to the routine. I didn't realize how much I was attached to routine until I had Rowan, we had Rowan. But I love my tea time. So for me, it's more ritualistic. It's more of like that's my time to like take a breath and like enjoy like a moment by myself. So for me, I really enjoy my tea. But caffeine, we definitely don't do a lot. That's definitely a tip and a trick. And then I would say another way to get through the day is if we try to plan our meals. Yeah. So we try to plan our meals. We do our best to meal prep on Sundays. Sometimes plans come up and they don't always happen, but we try that. So it saves us time through the day or through the week.
We don't have a lot of solid breakfasts either. That's another thing that I've noticed we do a lot. Yeah. It helps. Like we have a lot of shakes, a lot of green juice, a lot of like liquids. Yeah. We don't have a ton of like toast and heavier things at breakfast that I find. Yeah. Sometimes we do, but not often.
Rare.
Very rare.
More on the weekend. Yeah. And it's because of time. Yeah. So we find it's more time efficient and it gets you fuller faster with having all the smoothies. Plus we really like to make Rowan one. So she gets a whole bunch of like a punch of nutrients in the morning. And then we do as well. So it's like we get to make a breakfast for all 3 of us in like 5 minutes or less. And Matt can have his on the way. I can sip mine as the morning goes. Rowan sips hers in the morning and then takes it to daycare with her. So that's another trick too, I would say, for our morning routine. So we'd rather spend time with each other, like running around. Not that sitting down and eating breakfast isn't spending time with each other, but we just don't eat breakfast at the same time. We find that that's more time efficient.
I just think so few people even have time for breakfast in the morning now anyways. Yeah. Like it's hard to sit down at the table and have a meal together in the morning with kids having to go to school or people having to catch a train and go to work. Like it's not, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's something that you don't really do anymore. Yeah. Dinner's a time to come together, I think. But breakfast it seems
But we're usually done dinner by the time Matt gets
home. Totally. Yeah.
I usually snack with, that's another part of my routine. I usually have a snack with Rowan while she's eating dinner so that when Matt gets home, we can eat dinner together. Yeah. So like I make it seem like I'm eating with Rowan so she doesn't just feel like I'm sitting there and like staring at her while she's eating, but like so I'll have like a couple bites and stuff, but mostly I try to save dinner time with Matt. Yeah. So. Yeah. And this was decaffeinated by the way. It was,
Nespresso. Nespresso makes fantastic decaffeinated espresso.
Yeah.
Well worth it.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that was interesting or not, but we thought we would talk about our routine and like what our day looks like on a day-to-day basis.
Keep moving.
We just keep moving, and our routine is trying to be as flexible as possible.
Flexible, yes.
As flexible as possible.
Keep flexible. Things are going to come up. Things are going to throw a wrench in your plans.
And you can't Frankie freak out every time.
Yeah.
So, does any other moms on here get that feeling like I do sometimes, that you get a little bit jealous of your husband that goes to work and has time by himself, like at lunch break or on the way to work? Is there anybody else like that? I'm sure I'm not alone here.
I would imagine you're not alone.
Am I alone?
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you are. I can totally appreciate where you're coming from.
And I know some people might actually be afraid to say something because they're like, oh, it's you know, it doesn't mean I don't love my time with Rowan. I obviously love my time with her like crazy, but it can feel like a rat race sometimes when like you're just like a slave to their schedule, and if the schedule doesn't work out, then the whole day is
well, especially when and there was also a significant
Holly
period
agrees.
of time. Yeah. Significant period of time where even now still, I mean, you're spending, 12 hours approximately almost with Rowan sometimes, and you're not even speaking the English language. Like she's jibber jabbering and saying stuff, but she's not actually speaking English, right? So like, after a while, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. You just kind of crave having conversations with people who are, can speak your language.
Totally. That's why we try to get out at some point every day.
I get it. I totally get it. And, to be fair, like I said, I mean, it's nice to be able to have a job at work where you can go out for lunch and you can, ride the train in and stuff like that. But, that comes at a cost.
If that was me, it would probably be driving me bonkers. Yeah. But it's just that when you're in this position, you get that point of feeling a little bit like envious sometimes, where like Matt feels that way towards me sometimes. So some good tips and advice for a soon-to-be mom. Thanks. Oh, you're most welcome, Sarah. I know. I'm so excited for you. The opposite feeling here. As a full-time working mom, I wanted to spend most of my free time with my son. Yes, and you do that, April. You're an amazing mom. I admire you.
Yeah, I see a lot of your posts of stuff you do with your son, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I admire you for being a full-time mom with shift work often. And on top of that, like investing so much, not only into your family, but also everyone else around you. Like you're very, you should be doing Facebook Lives. You're very organized, scheduled, and you give everything to everyone else before you give back to yourself. So, which isn't always a good thing. You need to take care of yourself too. So, which is great because you do your workouts and stuff. But flexibility is a big, Angela. Flexibility is a big butt routine.
Big part of our day.
A big part of our day. Big butt routine. We don't see each other or the kids all day with work and school. So when I get home with them, we spend the day together, which is I'm assuming that means. More so when young, I feel I miss so much. Now I enjoy free time when he plays with friends. Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what my friends keep reminding me of. They're like, they're only young once. So enjoy it. They're only young once. Yeah. You guys just caught me too on like a very stressful day. But anyways, thanks for popping on here, guys. I hope that was some helpful tips. I hope you guys give us some helpful tips. Let us know what you do to get through your day and how you manage it, keep your energy up, keep things as balanced as possible. Oh, another thing I would add in is we stay connected throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's a big one too, is we try to chat throughout the day, whether it's Matt calling me during lunch hour or sending me a text when he's on his way to the GO train if we didn't get much to talk to, or we didn't get to talk to each other before he left for work. And yeah, we just try to text each other. I try to text you a picture or like a video of Rowan.
I see what Rowan's up to. I follow you guys on your Instagram stories, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm always watching and liking and trying to comment.
Yeah, which is wonderful. So and that's a big part too, is feeling supported. So, and supporting each other. So just staying connected as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that can be very helpful as
well.
But
we're still pretty new at all this stuff. Definitely the parenting thing. We're still very new at it. So
definitely not experts there.
If there's any tips or suggestions, they would be very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Always doing lots of reading, and like I said, I send lots of articles to Ash during the day because I have a little bit of time and I'll do some reading and I'll flip something to her. But it always helps to get suggestions from people who are pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you for being real and an inspiration. You both rock. Off to do bedtime routine.
Bedtime routine, nice.
Yeah, of course, April. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Tell Cameron we said hello. It's been almost 30 minutes, so I'm sure you guys are done listening to us chat. But thank you for popping on here. And this was an impromptu discussion. So
we had to be flexible today.
We had to be very flexible today. There was no planning today.
This almost didn't happen.
It was this close. I'm like,
do some convincing.
I was like, we don't know what to talk about. We didn't have time. Didn't have time to prep. But we would love to hear from you guys and what you guys want to hear us talk about. So we do have some topics in mind, but it would be better if we knew what you wanted to hear. So looking forward to hearing from you. Hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you next Monday.
Good night.
Bye.